Okay, I want to welcome you guys to 2017-2018 school year. My name is Miss Santana. My first name is Senia. You don't need to call me that. Here is my email, csantana@portchesterschools.org. Please remember this for your quiz. This is very important. I'm going to highlight what's important. Labs. Okay, so if you need to ever make up any work, I do something called Makeup Mondays, and they're after school, right after ninth period from 3 to 3:30. If you need me to stay longer with you, don't worry. I will stay as long as you need me to, as long as you come at 3 o'clock. Please don't come at 3:30 and expect me to stay with you, all right? Because you got to be respectful of my time. Extra help. Again, you can come every day. I can help you anytime after school. Please come. Last year, I didn't have many of my students come after school. I don't know why. And many of those students did not do very well. What will I be learning? Okay, so this is a biology class, okay? So biology, basically, you might have taken it in seventh grade, which means you're going to be learning about life. And we're also going to be preparing you for something called the New York State Regents. Once again, everything that I'm highlighting, you want to make sure that you pay attention to. And I'm in room 205, right? The New York State Regents exam is basically a test that you need to take and you need to pass in order to graduate. And if you don't pass it, then you can't get a diploma. So it is very important that you pass this class, and if you don't, you repeat it. This is not the same as in middle school. In middle school, you could have failed something and they still move you to the next grade. In high school, that is not the case. So the topics that we're going to cover, I want you to look at some of these. You don't need to memorize them right now, okay? But these are going to be your tabs for your binder, right? So I want you to label your binder like the first tab, scientific inquiry, then life and body systems, molecules and cells, and so forth. So we're going to cover about 7 topics, but they have many parts to them. And then Regents review at the end. Okay, so let's move on. All right, materials, what do you need? It's going to be very simple. You're going to need a 2-inch binder, all right? You're going to need 8 divider tabs. I don't know how many come in a pack. I think you might need 2, but you're going to need 8 of them. Pens, pencils, and highlighters. Pencil pouch for your binder. Please get a pencil pouch. They're like $1. Come on. And 1 pack of colored pencils. This is very, 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 very important. Please bring your colored pencils every day to science class. And that's it. That's all that you're going to need. Many of my students bring gel pens and things like that. Just go get some Crayola colored pencils. Keep it simple, guys. Let's keep it moving. Okay, student responsibilities and expectations. This is going to be a little bit long, but it's a very important part. All right, so first thing here, respect. Okay, be respectful of your teacher and of other students. Any behavior that stops others from being able to learn will not be tolerated within the classroom. Be caring and helpful to other students. We are in this together. I like to have a comfortable environment for you to learn, and I don't think that I can get your respect if I don't give it to you first. So I will be the first to give you respect, and I am expecting that you be respectful to me as well. Number 2, be in your seat when the bell rings. Okay, in your seat. That means that you're not standing at the door, that you're not saying hi to your friend, that you're not taking out your phone. I want you to come into class ready to learn right away. As soon as that bell rings, notes should be out, everything should be out. One of my biggest pet peeves or something that annoys me is when students are like, should I take out my notes? Should I take out my pencil? Of course you take out your notes and your pencil. Come on. Stop being silly. All right, number 3. You will have about 5 to 7 minutes to complete the do now. This should be done as soon as you walk in. Again, as soon as you walk in, you're doing the do now. Sometimes it may count as a grade. If I do collect it, it's going to be something that you do open notes, so you can always use your notes for your do now. If you are late to class or if you have an unexcused absence, basically if you're cutting or if you're out and your parents haven't called in, you're going to get a 0 for that day. Cell phones. Okay, I'm not a cell phone Nazi, but I do not want them visible. No cell phone should be visible. I don't want it on the desk. I don't want it on the lab table. Also, if you need to borrow a pen and pencil and use the restroom, right, to use the bathroom, you must leave your phone. If you don't have a phone, then you can leave let's say, I don't know, a pen, a pencil, something, some keys. I need to hold on to something so that I make sure that I get my pass back. Also, with the bathroom, please ask at an appropriate time. This means that you're not asking when I'm teaching or when I'm explaining something. You need to go to the restroom when it is least disruptive to your own education. Be an active participant in your own learning. What does that mean when I'm actively participating? Right? That means that you're asking questions, please. I love answering questions as long as they're related to what I'm talking about. Please don't ask me in the middle of class, what did you do last night, Miss Santana? That's not appropriate. All right. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. This is a big one. I think many people in class are very shy or quiet because they don't want to ask questions. They feel like they don't know something or they're not really sure of themselves. I want you to be more confident. All right. Be more confident in answering a question. If you never make mistakes, you're never going to learn. I know who is a good student because they're not afraid. You got to let go of that fear. Food and drink, don't have it in my class. Very simple. We can't have it in science class. It brings rats, it brings mice. So you can't have that except water. Cheating, okay, don't do it. Cheating is unacceptable. Copying your homework, copying lab answers. You are not to copy answers during the lab. You can talk about it with your partner and your group, but you are writing your own answers, and I do not want it to sound like the person next to you. If you copy, I'm gonna give you a zero. It's pretty simple. And probably call home. And any kind of cheating, honestly, it doesn't even help you. I don't even want you to bother. Don't try. Don't waste your energy. It's not helping you learn. So, please make sure that you're honest. If you didn't do your homework or didn't do something, just tell me, Miss Santana, I couldn't do it, and explain to me why. If it's a good reason and I feel like you're being honest, then I won't penalize you, right? Number 8, your lab stations. When we're doing labs, you have to be responsible. So it has to be clean, right? We have to keep our classroom clean. All members of a lab group will be penalized 10 points if the table or floor is messy. All members. That means that everyone's going to get 10 points off if I see that the table or floor is messy. The reason why I do that is because a lot of times students will say, well, that wasn't me, that was my partner, that was this person, that was that person. No, the classroom belongs to all of us, so we are all going to try to keep it clean. Number 9, if you're having a bad day, please let me know. Inform your teacher if you are having a bad day so that the teacher may help you or give you space. If you don't want to be bothered, if you feel like you're, really on the edge and you need to have some space, go for a walk, whatever it is, let me know. All right. And then number 10, if you miss any work, you need to contact me. You need to come say, Miss Santana, I missed the work. What do I need? Or check Google Classroom. Google Classroom is a great way to keep up with what's going on in the class. All right. See, that wasn't so bad. Those are simple rules to follow. Teacher expectations. So, what this is what you should expect of me. I'm not one of those teachers that is going to come into class and um, be unfair, right? So I will treat all of my students with the care and respect that I expect from them. So I'm not going to curse at you. I'm not going to yell at you. I'm not going to speak down to you. I'm not going to insult you in class. I might make fun of you a little bit, but only if I think it's okay and I think that you might laugh. And you can make fun of me sometimes too, as long as it's appropriate and it's nothing too crazy. I will come prepared to class every day with lessons and activities for you. So every day you're going to get work every single day. It's awesome. So I'm doing my job. I will care for you as my own children and be available, helpful, and honest. No, I don't have any kids. I have a pet cat. Um, but I care for you guys as if you were my kids, and I'm always very honest about that with my students. I will be the best version of myself I can be and have a positive attitude. So I just want you to know every time I come into work that you're going to get the best of me, and if that day I'm having a bad day, I'll let you know. So that way maybe you can try to not annoy me that much that day. All right, how are you going to be graded? Okay, so grading is very simple. Test, labs, and quizzes. As you can see, homework is not on there, right? A little bit different from middle school. I don't really like giving homework because I don't think it's very helpful to education. So here's what you have to do, right? Your labs are your homework. Usually, if we do a lab, let's say on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, I'll have you hand it in on Friday. If we do something on Thursday or Friday, I'll tell you, okay, for next week. So make sure you check the due date on all the labs. Quizzes, sometimes I might give you a quiz on the lab. and then tests are 50%. So this is very important. You could be there every day and you can do all your labs and quizzes, but if you don't do very well on your test, you're not going to pass. Okay, speaking of labs, right? Labs are probably one of the most important things here. Each student must complete 1,200 minutes of lab. So, for example, let's say that we are in class and a lab takes us 20 minutes. So you get 20 minutes added. So you need 1,200 of those to be able to take the test at the end of the year. So what happens if you don't do that? Very simple, you fail. You have to repeat the class again. It's not a joke. I want you to take it very seriously. It's not like middle school. There are people who are repeating maybe even 3 years in a row because they do not come to class to finish those labs. If you don't have enough lab minutes, you will automatically repeat the class next year. There is no summer school. You could be getting 80s on test. I don't care. Legally, you are not allowed to take this test if you do not come to class and do the minutes. I've had students in the past that they actually come to class every day and they never hand the lab in. And guess what happens to them? They also fail. For most labs, you're going to have 1 week or 5 days. Maybe if it's a short lab, I might give you 2 days. But, I try to be very fair with the amount of time that you have. And yes, you can hand them in early. Late labs, if they're late, I'm going to take off 10 points. Okay? Just 10 points. After a week, I'm going to just give you a 0. So incomplete labs are not accepted and will be returned. Let's say that you forget to answer question number 10. I'm not going to grade it. I'm going to give it back to you until you have it done, and I'm going to take off 10 points. Make sure that you don't leave anything incomplete. To count a lab, it must be above a 65. So let's say that you want to get, your minutes for this. You have to pass the lab. So if you got a 50 on the lab, it's no good. You have to go back and fix it so that you can count it. Now, if 7 days have passed, let's say that I've given you 7 days, like the lab was due on Monday and it's next Monday and you still haven't handed it in, well, guess what? You just get a 0, okay? But you can, however, get Regents credit. So you get a 0 as your grade, but if you hand it in, I can still count it towards your test for your final exam, right? So again, you're getting a 0 as a grade, but I'm still counting it so you can take your test at the end of the year. Okay, and that's as long as you hand it in within the quarter. So that means that if you did a lab, if you found a lab in your book bag from first quarter and you're trying to hand it in third quarter, no, that's way too late. Okay, I'm not going to give you any credit for that. All right, last but not least, remind. So if you are in my period 2 or 3 class, this is what you're going to do. You're going to text PC Sci 2-3 to this number, and you're going to sign up for Remind so that you can text me if you have any questions on this video or any kind of problems in general. Please have your parents go on it as well. They can be added to the class. And if you are in my period 4 and 5 class, this is your code, PC period 4-5, and you're going to send it to that and send a text. And that's it, guys. Thank you for watching, and please take the quiz at the end. And that's it. I'll see you in class. Thanks.